Okay, now we're ready to enter our topography, and we need to do a couple of things here first so that we can see where we're working. We need to delete this roof and the gutters because I want to see the actual edge of the house, not out by the gutters. So we can do that by highlighting any of those parts. Come up and whoops, I didn't went off the highlight, so I'll just highlight that. Come onto these little glasses down here, which are temporary hide, and hide element. Grab the gutter. Same thing, hide element. We'll just zoom in here a bit. I want to get rid of these rails and this floor on the patio, so I'm just going to highlight the rails. This time I've got more rails to get rid of, so when I go in here I'll hide category and just watch all the rails will disappear there. And the floor, I'm just going to hide element because I don't want to hide all the floors. And that just leaves us with our posts here and our steps, and we can see all of these driveway parts as well. The other thing I'm going to do here is come down and I'm going to show our crop box. So come down and click on show crop box and you'll get a border coming up. Now it may not be exactly where it's showing on mine here. So what I'd like you to do is just click on that and just drag those in to get them roughly about the same size. We set that up when we were getting ready to produce our sheets. So you probably are roughly around the base. It doesn't have to be exactly the size, just pretty close to it. Okay, we're just going to use that as a bit of a guide to where we put our topography in. We could put our topography in a much bigger area if we wanted to. I'm just doing this so it looks fairly neat, and also doesn't take up as much memory in your computer. So once we're in there, we'll come up and we'll go into massing and site. Massing and site, and we'll click on the button called topography or top of surface. Everything sort of goes greyish here because we've got a similar thing happening up here that we can place in and check off if we think it's right or not. There's a couple of different ways we can put it in. Place by point or place by import. Now in the real world, what would happen is people would go out onto the building area and they would hold little posts and they'd have these machines. You've probably seen them around if they're putting in any new development or building something new, and they're called surveyors, and they will get all the heights of the ground. And then when they would put that into like a spreadsheet, and so you could import that spreadsheet and it will put all those points automatically in for you. Now we're not going to do that. We're going to place them by ourselves. Okay, so we'll just be on place point. You'll notice here too that when this came up, we have this absolute elevation. I'm going to change this to 0 for a start. Okay, so you do that and come down to the bottom. You see it will snap to points. I'm going to snap to that point of my crop box, and I'm just going across to the other side there and snapping to that one as well. So I've just said that across there the height of the topography from 0 is 0. Okay, next one we're going to put in is minus 100, and you remember that our top of our driveway was minus 100, but I'm going to start over here and it doesn't snap over here, so you just sort of get it on the line. And again, there's no measurements with this. This is just roughly, and it will work. When you get to something you want to snap onto, it will come up. So there's a corner there, and I'm going to snap to that corner, and I'm going to snap to that corner, and now I'm just going to go over and line up with this edge again. Again, it won't snap here. You just have to line it up, and I'm going to put that in there. Next, I'm going to change that to minus 150. Minus 150. I'm going to start off here, anywhere, again, same thing. This time I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to snap on the corner of the house, the corner where the step is, and that corner of the house, and I'm just going to come out here and click again. Okay, next, make it 200. Going to start down here so we get a bit of a funny slope going. I'm going to come in and I'm going to snap probably to the corner of here, and then I'm just going to come back over. I could put it in just around there somewhere. It looks good. Again, it's just no real science. It's just where you want to see it, and it may be that you go back later and play around with this. If you're not happy with it, you can just delete it and come back and do it again. But at this stage, we'll just keep working on and see how it looks at the end. So I'm going to change this to 250 now. Remember, our foundations were 300 deep. So again, I'm going to go up, start somewhere around here, and I'm coming up to the corner of my house up here, this corner. Just move that over a bit, and maybe just there somewhere. Next one I'm going to put in is 850. So it's going to, the block is dropping away pretty sharply here. So I'm putting in 850, coming down. I'm going to come down pretty close to this, but this time I'm going to come over and pick the top part, the middle part of my post, and I'm going to go out and pick the end of the stairs, that end of the stairs as well, that post, and just pop that in there somewhere like that. And we're going to put one more in, which will be a meter, 1000 millimeters. And I'm just going to put this in by going like so. Okay, and you'll notice where the meter was, a dashed line comes up to show that this was 0, and then every meter would have one of those dashed lines in it. Okay, but our block's pretty flat. Okay, because we're using a slab foundation technique, so it's pretty flat block, but it drops off in the backyard. Okay, let's what we do now is just come up. Just make sure that you've got all of these lined up pretty well. You can move them around by just coming out of that, escaping a couple of times, and you can just pick on those and move them around, but try and get it straight. Again, here's one that's probably just out a little bit. I can just move that down. The straighter they are, the better it'll look when it's finished. Okay, and come back up, we'll go into there and we'll give that a tick. Now it doesn't look like it's done anything until we go into 3D, and when we get into 3D you can see now that we have a like a ground area around, and you can see that there is, it's sort of at 0, 0 in here, but slopes away. That's looking good. If we look at the side of the house, we've got, you can see our foundation's just sloping away nicely there, and at the back of the house, everything's looking pretty good there. We're seeing a little bit of these poking through. No, that's not too bad. Okay, there's one other thing we want to do here, and that's change the color of it. So I'm just going to click on the topography, and come in and up here in material, click in the box and do a search for grass. And you can see I like this light one. Click on the little arrow. If it says that, just go replace or keep both, just replace. It should come up to the top here. I've put some in before when I've been practicing this, so that's why it's saying that. Might not say it with yours. Bring it up, but just make sure it's up the top there, and go apply and OK. And if we come back out here, you can see now we've changed that to a nice green grass. Next we're going to go on and add some gardens to this in the next video. So get this finished. Don't forget to save at this point, and then go on and finish that off with the next video.